It's not often that I buy something without doing research, but that's exactly what I did here. This is how it happened. I returned my MacBook Neo, and I like the Neo just fine, but I've got several other machines that are a lot more powerful, and I just couldn't find a place for it in my workflow. Since I traded in my MacBook Air from 2020 for the Neo, part of my refund was on a gift card. My wife wanted an Apple TV, so we bought that with a gift card. I didn't even get a chance to look at the Apple TV. She took it and ran. She ain't giving it back either. She actually really likes it, and I do too. I think it's really cool. It improves the TV watching experience in all the right ways. Maybe one day I can talk her into giving it up so we can take a look at it. There's not much that Apple sells after the Apple TV that's under $100, but that's all that I had left. I surely wasn't going to let them keep that $100, so I picked up this HomePod Mini. In the back of my mind, I knew that it was a smart home assistant. I thought maybe I could control some of the lights in the house and things like that. We already have an Alexa. A couple of years ago, we invested heavily in a lot of Alexa branded light bulbs, switches, and hardwired light fixtures, door locks, you name it, we probably bought it. I really haven't enjoyed the Alexa as much as I thought I would have since we've been using it. Even after the big update they had, it's not the best. Plus, it feels like she's listening to us and using what we say so Amazon can later on try to sell us stuff. There's been times where I know that I was talking to my wife about something and later on I saw it advertised to me on my phone. I suppose it could be a coincidence, but I don't really believe in coincidences, and I did read that the Apple HomePod was a lot more secure than Alexa, so I bought it for 99 bucks. I thought I'd give it a shot. If anything, we'll just use it for a speaker. I wanted to do a Star Wars themed episode because Grogu and the Mandalorian are coming out this weekend in theaters, and I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars franchise in general, and especially that TV show. It's one of my favorites, and I plan to be there to see it. The HomePod has a lot of Star Wars themed accessories for it, so I wanted to take a look at this thing and see what I can do with it, and then after we're done, we're gonna dress it up for the movie. It'll be fun, I promise. Stay with me.
This is the way.
Since I bought the HomePod, I have done some research on it, and I don't think that I'm that excited about it anymore. I have some serious doubts that it's going to be able to meet my needs, honestly, but let me take you through what it does first, and we can decide together. The HomePod Mini runs about 99 bucks at the Apple Store. It's classified as a smart speaker. Apple first released it in October of 2020 and shipped it in November of 2020. It hasn't been updated since. It runs the Apple S5 chip, which is the same chip from the 2019 Apple Watch Series 5. For speakers, there's one full range driver about 2 inches across and 2 passive radiators inside that help with bass. There's no subwoofer or anything, and there's no separate tweeters. It connects over Wi-Fi and uses AirPlay 2 for audio. It does have Bluetooth, but you can't stream over it. It's just there for connection to set it up or to transfer data or something. I don't even really understand it, but it has Bluetooth. You just can't use it. You won't be able to stream anything to it from another device other than Apple stuff or something that's equipped with AirPlay, which means most non-Apple devices can't easily send music to it. It can run your smart home though. There's a full-size HomePod 2 that they sell, and it's $299. The only difference between this one and that one that I know of is the sound quality. This one does everything that that one does. Both can act as a hub for HomeKit and Matter accessories. You have to be careful though, because all of those things need to specifically say on them that they support HomeKit or Matter. Amazon and Google dominate this space, so a lot of the devices that are out there only work with them. Plus, a couple of years head start is important too, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Matter is supposed to be fixing this by being cross-platform, but adoption has been slow, and a lot of the budget accessories just don't have it. Just like Alexa is the voice on the Amazon brand pod and Google Assistant is on the Google version, Siri runs the voice assistant on the HomePod. I was pretty let down about Siri. Hey Siri, what can I do with a HomePod?
I can do lots of things, like turn on the lights, give you a news update, and tell you about the weather. Now you try. Say, hey Siri, play some music.
No, I don't want to say that. Hey Siri, the HomePod Mini, it can turn on the lights. Are there any lights on my network that you can control?
I found some web results. You can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
Oh, okay. I really have given up using it a long time ago. If you don't know, she's kind of broken. Despite being the first virtual assistant on any phone ever, she's been left to stagnate and not been updated in a long time. She used to seem like the future for a while. She held her own. But after things like ChatGPT and Gemini, plus all the other LLMs of recent years started appearing, she quickly fell behind. That's definitely a weak point with the HomePod. Alexa got a massive update earlier this year, there, and I have to admit, even though I'm still not fond of the Alexa service or Amazon, they did really step up how she responds. So far, there's been nothing that I could ask where it tripped it up. She even will roast me if I ask her to do too much work, and it's kind of funny. And that's why it's so hard to watch Siri struggle so much. It's no different with a HomePod Mini. Siri struggles with general questions, often tells you to look at your phone, and is generally considered behind other companies in the space. It's only good for Apple-specific stuff like sending iMessages, setting reminders, or controlling HomeKit scenes. Apple signed a deal with Google in January of 2026 to use Gemini to power a new version of Siri, and that is expected with iOS 27 in September of 2026. Whether this current HomePod Mini and the current HomePod lineup will get that update, Apple hasn't really said. Honestly, I would be surprised if it does. Where this does okay at is inside the Apple ecosystem. Big surprise, right? AirPlay for Mini, iPhone, iPad, or Mac is one tap. Hold your phone near the top and play back hands off between the phone and the speaker seamlessly. Two HomePod Minis can be a stereo pair and set as the default speakers for an Apple TV 4K, which is one of the better uses for them. Intercom between HomePods in a different room works great. It recognizes different voices in the household for personalized music and messages. Another place it does well at is in security. Siri requests are de-identified, a lot of processing is on device, and Apple isn't running an ad business off your voice data. Amazon has had documented issues with false wake-up words and human contractors reviewing recordings. One of the reasons I even started looking at this is because I felt like Alexa was eavesdropping on my family. There would be times where no one said her name at all, but I'd look over and the activation light would be on and I knew she was listening to us. I could be absolutely just paranoid, but at the same time, I've already covered stories about Amazon and their Fire Phone and how they like to really dig in and eavesdrop on their customers and try to force them to buy stuff. It's not that far-fetched that Alexa would eavesdrop on us. The HomePod doesn't do this though. Apple has always been hardcore about keeping their customers' privacy private, which to me seems like a no-brainer that privacy should be private, but some of these companies are struggling with that notion. Unfortunately, to get that privacy, you're gonna have to deal with a lot of compromises.
Do me a favor, if you haven't already, consider hitting the subscribe button. Last year, we were able to grow the channel by 20,000 subscribers. This year, the goal is 100,000, and we can only get there with your help. If you like them, to be honest, without sponsors, hit the subscribe button.
If you're somebody who has no kind of smart home devices and you're just starting out and you're looking to get into an ecosystem, this could be a good buy for you. Usually things this deep in the Apple ecosystem are a pretty good buy for their base of users, but in this instance, I'd even tell them to skip it unless you're just getting into home automation. Because if you've already invested in Amazon stuff, the chances are it's not gonna work with the Apple stuff. Amazon came out with Alexa back in 2014. Apple also released HomeKit in 2014, but for some reason, they waited all the way till 2018 to release the first HomePod, which put them significantly behind the curve. Most companies that were making products only made them for Alexa and Google, maybe Samsung, but definitely not Apple. Matter is supposed to be bridging that gap, but as we said before, it's got some heavy lifting to do. The HomePod Mini's build quality is what you expect from Apple. It's nice, it sounds good. I don't necessarily think it sounds better than one of the higher end Echo Dots. I have a 4th generation in my room and it probably actually sounds a little bit better than the HomePod. I'm not sure if you can pair the Echo with a second Echo, but you can with a HomePod. You can pair two of those together. You can only pair the Minis though with another Mini, and you can only pair the big one with another big one to get the stereo pair. That's an expensive venture though. For two full HomePods to be connected to get a stereo pair would cost right at $600, and for two Minis, you'd be looking at $200. I haven't heard the full-size HomePod yet, but it's my understanding that even if you pair two Minis together, they won't sound as good as one full-size HomePod. When you turn it on, it pops right up on your iPhone. You either have to have an iPhone or an iPad to set this up though. You can't set it up on a MacBook or a Mac computer or anything like that. It'll pop up just like AirPods do on your iPhone, ask you to set it up, and then ask you to scan the top of the HomePod Mini. There isn't a screen up there. It's just LEDs with a diffuser on top of them, but they're pretty complex. I don't think I've ever seen something like this quite the same. You guys know how Apple is. It honestly probably would have been less expensive to put an actual screen on here, like a watch screen or something, but they didn't. They put these LEDs on there, and that's how you get that pattern. It's that same pattern that you see on the Apple Watch that's all swirly and colorful, and they use that for you to pair them. It's super similar to that deal, and that's how it knows what HomePod you have. It pretty much does everything from there. Once you pair it on your phone, that it's paired to whatever other devices you have signed in your name, you can send music to it, you can pair another HomePod to it. If you don't have any devices though that it can control, then that's pretty much the extent of what you can do with it, unless you want to sit there and ask it a bunch of questions that it can't answer. So I'm going to give the HomePod Mini a D, with one exception. Like I said, if you're starting out with home automation and you're in the Apple ecosystem and you just got to have another Apple device, then this may be for you. But for most everybody else, this is going to be something that you probably want to skip. It's going to cause you more problems than it's going to help you with, because you're going to have to get all new devices and you're going to be giving up a lot of functionality dealing with Siri. Plus, they're going to upgrade Siri soon. The rumor is 2027, and Apple hasn't said anything official about whether or not the current hardware will be able to be used, but I'm having a hard time believing that this device that's already 6 years old is going to get an update next year so you can keep using it for years to come. If they decide to keep the HomeKit service with the HomePods, we're probably going to get new devices. I don't know that for sure, but that's just my feeling based on the way things are right now. What do you think? Do you have a HomePod? Do you like it? Did I get anything wrong? Is it secretly a banger and I just didn't see it? At the end of the day, I got a cool looking smart speaker, and for the Mandalorian, I 3D printed this sweet TIE Fighter holster for the HomePod. It would probably look better if it wasn't orange. I didn't really think of that when I bought it, but I still love the aesthetic and the idea. This is an easy print. The material I used is carbon fiber ASA. It'll work fine with PLA or PETG. This thing is really simple to put together. It only takes a few seconds to assemble. It does suggest that you put a drop of glue in each connection point, but I actually just snapped it together and it did just fine. You can print it on any Bamboo Lab printer, and I'm sure any other kind of printer too. I'll put a link to the Bamboo file down in the description. Now my HomePod looks even cooler and it's ready to fight the empire. Y'all be good, and may the force be with you.